The Voting Rights Act is really a dramatic moment in the history of American democracy. Until the Voting Rights Act, large portions of the population, particularly in the South, were unable to vote, and that really created this sense that we talk a lot about democracy, but we don't actually have a democracy when you are systematically keeping people from voting. A lot of the unique kind of details came from actually studying the photographs.
We have a couple of pictures of this man. His name is Jimmie. He's from Michigan. He actually came down from Michigan to Alabama just to support the cause, and he made the entire trip. And see, that's stuff that history, we forget about. We don't notice people. That's just one example of just the extreme dedication that some of these people had to this cause.
Just in the process of pulling together the photographs, they began to realize the significance of some of the symbols. If you look at the photographs of the march, especially coming into Montgomery, you see so many American flags being carried, and that flag was a representation of these really fundamental aspects of being an American.
This was in Selma, on your way into Selma, and it's the White Citizens Council emblem, and it shows the American flag crossed with the Confederate flag.
So we're really just posing the question, what does this flag mean and who does it belong to?
What catalyzed the actual march from Selma to Montgomery was the death of Jimmie Lee Jackson. Jimmie Lee Jackson had served in the military, and he was an advocate for voting rights and was part of this group of young people who were working for voting rights.
There are very few pictures of Jimmie Lee Jackson. This is him in his high school graduation picture. And this picture right here is Jimmie Lee Jackson at his funeral. This is actually him right here. This is him in his coffin. It took him 8 days before he actually died. He was shot in the stomach, so it wasn't a lethal wound initially. He died really from an infection. This is where they decided that they were going to do something about it. And doing something meant marching.
These shoes are supposed to represent the many different men and women who were involved in this march. And these shoes not all look the same. Some of the shoes are dirty, some of the shoes are clean. To us, it's supposed to symbolize really just the diversity that was in this march.
It wasn't just the all-black movement. There were many white people that helped out and that participated and that helped get the movement going. It's something that we definitely should know. It wasn't a solely all-black movement. It was priests, there were ministers, there were Caucasian, there were families, fathers, mothers that participated in something that they believed in too, that would make their country better.
Most people know the story of Rosa Parks and the bus boycott and desegregation, and maybe less is known about the voting rights activism, which took a lot of students and older folks into the Deep South, and the violence that erupted around that was very significant. So what we hope to accomplish is for people to understand the price that was paid for this fundamental right to vote and how that changed our society.
This exhibit, not just my corner, but as a whole, is very important because there have been a lot of things in the press about the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that, and police brutality. Violence against black men, and the issue about the Confederate flag, and also with the overturning of part of the Voting Rights Act, there's been questions about obstacles to voting today. So even though it's a historical event, the legacies of it continue.
That's something that I think we kind of get away from, in the heat of everything. This is a movement of people. And even though, we highlight, black lives, but there are many different peoples and nationalities working within this because they don't believe that just Black lives matter. They believe that not only all lives, but all rights are created equal.